On today's special edition of Gaming, but at what cost? We are leaving gaming at home and just asking, but at what cost? Ed talks about, or more commonly referred to as Ed, is a UK YouTuber as well as a UK medical cannabis patient with a rapidly growing YouTube channel already amassing 296 subscribers and over 10,000 views in just 30 videos. He's very passionate about cannabis and its positive effects. We were able to get an interview with Ed and dive deeper into his thoughts and truly get to learn from him and get to know Ed on a deeper level. I'm your host, 90. I'm joined today by my amazing dragon.
Hello.
He is finally back, still owned by the government, and of course, always hungover, because that's just Dragon. We missed you, Dragon. Where you been?
Overseas.
You gonna hit me with the classified
intel? No.
Oh, but I wanted some classified intel. Just a sprinkle. Can I get a little bit, just so the CIA, gets mad at me?
Was you close to me?
I got to go on a beach. That's about it.
A beach. Japan is my guess. I mean, that would be cool.
Brazil.
I'd love to be in Japan. Brazil's a good one too. Well, before we get into the bulk of our interview, everyone, of course, we've got to do our amazing sponsor segment for our amazing sponsor, Dubby, who has continued to sponsor our content, even though we are teeny-tiny and just getting on going. They've continued to be great supporters of us, as well as a supporter of me in my content, and is the reason we can bring you these videos. They've just refilled both their waifu shakers and their starter packs. So the starter packs come with a shaker cup and 2 packets of Dubby. They are all 0 calories, 0 sugar, no maltodextrin or fillers or artificial colors, and it is keto friendly. If you don't want caffeine or the neurofactor, there is also a hydration blend and a caffeine only blend if you don't want the neurofactor. And if a tub seems a little too expensive for you, the starter packs come at around $15, and you can use my code 90, that's NITEEE, 3 E's for 10% off. And now, without further ado, I present the cannabis extraordinaire Ed talks about, better known as Ed. Welcome, Ed.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. How you doing?
We're doing all right, you know. I just wanted
pretty good living life.
Yeah, living life is definitely for sure. I mean, Dragon,
happy days.
You got a big life to live. You know, being Mr. Military Man and all.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so what would you guys like to ask me then?
Well, obviously, we want to ask you, what got you into, let me sit down and record a video of myself on a camera. What led to that first video that you made?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've always been passionate about cannabis. I mean, everyone I talk to, I bore them to hell with me non-stop talking about it and what it can do and different things it can do, So once I finally took the jump and went for legal cannabis, because legal cannabis it's been legal in the UK since the 1st of November 2018, and I only decided to get it a few months ago, about 4 months ago, because I'd heard so many bad things about the products and everything. So I waited them to iron a few problems out, and once I got my prescription, that was it. Now I'm legal. I can put my face on YouTube and not worry about the police coming and knock my door down.
Yeah, that's always
so that
a good
was basically
thing.
it. Yeah, I mean, I've always been passionate about cannabis. Like I say, I mean, I'm constantly doing people's chewing their ears off, telling them like, yeah, this effect and that effect, and this terpene does this and that terpene does that, So I thought, why don't I just put it out there, see if people like it?
Which I find, super interesting, because I've been smoking for a very long time, but I don't know anything about anything. I'm like, if I smoke it, I know what happens, and that's about where my knowledge ends. I mean, I get different THC contents and CBD contents and stuff like that, but my knowledge is very baseline, very limited. So watching your videos, it's like, wow, I just learned something I never knew, and now will be with me forever.
Yeah, I mean, the THC content issue, that's a big issue of mine because the principle is the more THC you have in a plant, the less other cannabinoids will be in there. They get shoved out. So when you're talking about the entourage effect of all these cannabinoids working together in a synergy, they're not going to work as good as they was if they had less THC. Does that come across right? You know?
Yeah, so the kind of the stacking of the cannabinoids makes it stronger
That's right.
instead of just the THC making it strong.
Yeah, THC on its own, it does obviously give a narcotic effect. But if you add in all of the other cannabinoids that the plant wants to produce and give you, your effect will be greater. For someone who's recreationally smoking, I would say avoid the ones that say 30 or 35 or 40% THC and go for the ones that say 22% THC. You'll get, I'll guarantee you will have a more enjoyable smoke than you would if you went for the higher one.
Which, I mean, I find interesting. Like, obviously, when I smoke, you save it's a common thing, of course, you save your roaches. Some people don't. I know some people don't like to
Mm.
save their roaches. I enjoy saving my roaches so I can, collect all the roaches and then break them all apart and get that like resin soaked cannabis out
Yeah,
of it. And then once you do one of those, you get way higher than you usually do because it's all the different cannabinoids and the
it's
resin
also
that's on it and everything else. And it is by far the most enjoyable smoking thing. Now, granted, I couldn't finish one by myself, that would put me down for the count, but it is a very enjoyable smoke because of the layering and all of the different cannabinoids and everything like that.
yeah. I mean, do you use tobacco blunts when you use? I presume you use blunts.
I use tobacco, so I have a little container of raw papers. I have a pipe. I might have a bong actually somewhere.
I broke my bong.
Yeah, that's usually what happens to mine.
Yeah, I mean, with the tobacco issue as well. I mean, cannabis is going through. There's some tests at the moment. A doctor in New York. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's looking into cannabis has in anti what would it be? Anti-cancerous properties or anti, like, in your lungs. So when you combust cannabis with tobacco, it's less harmful than just tobacco on its own. Now, don't hold me for that because it's in its early stages of research, but that is one research that's coming out. So it's sort of we've got to keep catching up. We've got to, the thing. My problem is they've got to reschedule it so we can start doing all this research properly.
Exactly. I 100% agree that we need to definitely reschedule it. I don't think it should be a Schedule 1 drug. That's a little insane for me.
That's a bit far fetched, isn't it?
It's like I don't think cocaine is less worse than like I feel like cocaine or crack is just a little bit worse. At least just a tiny bit.
You know what I mean? I mean, what is it? I think Xanax is even lower in the scheduling than
Yeah,
cannabis.
and I mean that's insane.
That's insane. Exactly. Yeah.
So,
So
Ed,
I mean,
for someone
yeah.
who doesn't personally smoke marijuana, what would you tell them to maybe persuade them, get them on your side of thinking for it?
Oh, I mean, I had to talk my father into taking cannabis, and he's passed away now. He died in 2021, but he had Alzheimer's, and the research I had done, and this was 12 years ago now. The research I had done was that Alzheimer's was slowed the progress was slowed. Wasn't cured, but the process slowed with cannabis oil. Now I found a doctor, Dr. David Allen, I think his name is from Canada, and I emailed him and I said to him, my father wants to take cannabis oil. He's on this medication. I told him the medications that he was on, and he emailed my father back and said, I suggest you take it. I think your son is correct. So my father then started taking cannabis oil. Over here, back then as well, 12 years ago, it was even more illegal. So I'm not going to say how he acquired it, but he got the oil. And 9 years later, nearly 10 years later, he could still have a conversation with you. He could still remember people's names. He could eat his dinner. He could lift the food. He could tell you everything that he would do normally. And so basically the Alzheimer's progressed a little bit. But the doctor came up to me and said on his deathbed, he went, I can't believe your father is so with it. I've seen so many more Alzheimer's patients with vascular dementia that have got to his stage and they can't even feed themselves. And that shocked me. That absolutely shocked me coming from a medical professional. I didn't tell him what my father was taking, but he was stumped. So that's just one story I tell someone. I mean, to try and say to them, look, it's not a bad plant. It's really not a bad plant. You see these children with epilepsy, you give them a little drop of oil and they stop their seizures. That's how I would try and talk to someone who's, no, I wouldn't say anti-cannabis because they've come to me and spoke to me about it. So they're obviously open-minded a little bit. But
they want
that's
to
how I would try and
understand your perspective and someone's perspective that does use it actively.
Yeah. I just try and tell them it's not the bad drug that the media has said.
Yeah, they classified it way too high, way too quickly. And now that we're in such an advanced age and we're, able to research it, we're realizing, this wasn't as bad as we thought it was.
That's right. And now you see all these CBD places popping up everywhere because of the anti-inflammatory properties that it has.
And it's that slow progression. Now, I wish it was faster. I wish more people would understand. And I don't even think the government realizes how much money they could make from something like that. Do you know how much you can tax it?
I mean, it's one of our arguments to the UK government because over there, where you are on your side of the water, you've obviously got states that have legalised, but it's still federally illegal. So the government aren't getting the taxes that they can, but they're still scraping in. The states are getting taxes, aren't they? But over here, all of the money from the illegal market or the unregulated market goes to the gangsters. They get millions and millions of pounds a week over here. So our argument is to the government, stop giving the gangsters the money and regulate it yourself and take the money. I mean, the UK government's in a right situation with money at the moment. Surely the revenue from cannabis will help that.
Oh yeah, America isn't great right now either. We spend a fair amount of money. We're only a few trillion in debt.
I think we're a few more trillion than that than you. So, I mean, can you see? It's just we know our government, the UK government, we all know is mainly around money. Most politicians, it's all about money. So once they realise how much money they can actually make, I mean, at the minute, like I say, these gangsters are getting all this money, and the crime on the streets with the young kids, they're sending kids across the borders into different counties. It's called county lines. And because the children are young, they're not getting arrested. They're just getting through and they get a slap on the wrist and they get sent home. And the gangsters are just sending the drugs everywhere. It's stupid.
So you believe that at least in the British side or the UK side of things, that, if you were to make it more legal and make it more accessible, that the crime would significantly go down?
100. I mean, not all crime, because there are going to be some drugs that are going to be illegal forever. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
you
not an
can't pull an
advocate.
organ and decriminalize everything. That's just not good.
I mean, in my eyes, I mean, if you're going to do something like that, you've got to show me some serious evidence behind it. That's
Yeah,
my
you
view.
gotta show me the health benefits of crack before I let you decriminalize it.
Yeah, exactly.
I
But I mean,
better have a
that would. But I mean,
16-page study of why crack is good for me if you ever think I'm gonna decriminalize that.
yeah. I mean, that's in my eyes. You've got to actually look at the different harms. I mean, cannabis is harmless. Seriously, the only harm that comes from cannabis in this country is the gangsters on every street corner trying to sell you Stardog.
Yeah,
That's
stuff
all
that
they try
is
and do.
not actual cannabis, not real. Some good old K2.
And that exactly, they put it in a Cali pack, a Mylar bag, and they say it's come over from California, and they try and charge you 50 quid for it. I mean, it's stupid. I don't know, and it's the young kids as well that are getting they used as couriers. It's just that's what really bugs me as well, because I've got two young kids, and if I found out they was doing that, I'd go mental.
Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
understand that. And let's. I kind of want to draw an interesting comparison on. Do you think there are any like major difference between American and UK weed? Like, do you think there's a huge difference, or do you think it's very small things?
Right. I mean, when it comes to, so we're going to say from California, are we? Because I presume that's where everyone puts that's the top of the market, isn't it, over there?
That's basically,
So,
yeah, your baseline. Everything's California weed, and
yeah.
then everything else.
Now, I've got a few friends that grow a couple of plants in their wardrobe, and it can be just as good, if not better, than Californian weed. But the problem is, in the UK, is these people are few and far between. And Californian weed is flooding our markets over it. It's coming over by the tonload. So basically, people haven't got a lot to compare to. They just think Cali weed is the really nice stuff, because the gangsters are selling all the star dogs, all this crap weed. So they've only got crap weed to compare it. They're saying that that's UK. Do you see what I'm saying? But in
Yeah.
personally, I reckon anyone in the world can grow amazing cannabis, as long as they look after it. They get all their temperatures and their PP, everything perfect. It can be brilliant anywhere.
I think I agree with that, but it's kind of like how you guys are getting flooded with quote unquote Cali weed. It's the way that we
Mm.
thought good weed was, grown in fields in Mexico, where it was basically it was terrible. It had to be bad weed. There's no way
Yeah,
it wasn't.
yeah. I mean, growing up, I used to. I mean, I'm 38, so back in the late 90s, I was smoking quite early, but I was smoking the Jamaican brickweed. I don't know if you know about that.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was sticks and seeds and all that, and so the weed has got dramatically better over the years, I must say. Even in the UK, compared to what we was getting back then, the quality has gone straight up. I mean, technology's helped that, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, technology's definitely helped, and that the media is getting more and more of an eye, and it's becoming regulated in some places, so the growing conditions have to be perfect and stuff like that. People are getting good at growing it and looking after it.
I
So
mean,
I
that's
think
another
the
thing with the
quality
UK
has
medical.
increased tenfold, I'd
So,
say.
sorry. Yeah, I mean, it definitely has. I mean, but with the medical, I mean, we get irradiated cannabis over here in our medical market. It's gone through an irradiation process. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, very interesting, isn't it? Because if you look into it, the radiation process, it degrades cannabinoids, it degrades terpenes. Now that process is done, so the cannabis is sterilized for people like like my wife, she has a compromised immune system. So apparently it's done. So there's no pathogens or anything like that in it. But then you've also got the non-irradiated cannabis that is grown by companies that have a better, in my eyes, sanitary process. So their cannabis doesn't have to go through the irradiation process because it's grown to a better standard. So my view is the ones that has to go through the irradiation process have problems in their grow. And the only way they can fix it is by sticking it through a machine and getting rid of any mold or bugs. So that's two kinds of cannabis you get in the UK. I've never touched the irradiated stuff myself because everyone says it doesn't taste anything.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of well. I don't know exactly what the American parallel would be there. I don't know, just made. What Dragon? You would you agree? Back, in the olden times, would you agree
Yeah,
that
probably.
the American equivalent would just be mid?
That's what everyone calls it.
Mids.
Yeah, it is literally just called mid. It's weed that is
Yeah.
just not good. Like the minute you
Yeah,
smoke it, you
yeah.
can taste
I
that
think
it's not good.
that term's getting a bit bigger in the UK as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of. I feel like now more than ever, we're exchanging a lot of terms, especially with the
My
UK drill scene popping off and Central
yeah,
C and everything like that. It's definitely bringing over some UK terms
yeah.
and vice versa.
I mean, my daughter's nearly 15, and she says, "Oh, that's mid," when something's just not great. And I'm thinking,
That's me. I
so
like
yeah,
that.
that's what you got to deal with, isn't you, with the teenagers?
Yeah, our co-host
Yeah, my kids.
James, who you were talking to in the chat earlier, he's got two youngins. I think one's 3, and the other just turned 1. So he's still got young and youngins, but
So they're yeah.
he's got. I feel bad for him when they start to grow up,
Well, I don't think
especially when they both hit high school. Oh, that's gonna be terrible for him.
Oh,
Poor man.
yeah. Well, we homeschooled our children. We homeschooled them for a little while, and then they went to school because when this was before the pandemic. I homeschooled my children about a year before it. So when the pandemic hit, we was already homeschooling, so it was brilliant for us. So we just carried on homeschooling our children. And then once the pandemic finished, they decided they wanted to go back to school, and they went back to school. And I'm not saying I'm dyslexic, so I'm not great at anything, but they went back into all the top classes, so I was quite happy with that.
You did some good teaching.
Something somewhere went right, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, what would you say your preferred way of smoking was? I know we were kind of like talking about what we spoke earlier, but what would you
Yeah.
say, like top of the top, if you could have it, what would it be? What's your most preferred way?
Well, legally, I cannot combust my medicine in the UK. I have to
Ah,
vaporize it legally. So, but if I was over in California, where the laws are different, I would be smoking, and I would probably either it'd be blunts or with a sprinkle of tobacco as a spliff, because European.
yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, I
yeah.
see.
You know,
I've been since of course, America is a lot more open on the way you could smoke. I've done many different types. I've had different things, and I mean, like even a raw cone is different from something that we call a zigzag. The zigzag is different from a joint, and it's just this very big open thing. I think hands down, if you're smoking with people, a blunt is the best. You're smoking by yourself, either a joint or a bong. Although it is kind of fun to pass a bong around, I will say.
yeah. I'm a
Granted,
bit
it's
of
a
an animal.
good way to
I'm a
break
bit of
your
an
bong.
animal. Yeah, in a big group, of course it's going to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a bit of an animal when it comes to smoking, really. I mean, if if I'm out, say I'm at a party or something, and I've rolled a blunt, I could easily face that blunt and then carry on my day. Quite high tolerance.
Yeah, I'm hitting some high stages of tolerance, but I'm not all the way there yet. I'm definitely not. Well, kind of
Hey, it won't take you long, mate.
Yeah, I kind of want to like motion into your channel a little bit, and how do you feel about your
Yeah.
pretty rapid growth on YouTube?
Well, do you know what? I just thought it was normal, and a couple of people have said to me, "You've actually grown quite quick in the 3 months that you've been doing it." I mean, we 296 was it?
Yeah, 296 when I last
I
checked
mean,
this morning. But I mean, when I found you,
yeah,
you
I mean,
had like, I don't know, I think you maybe had 100 subs, and then when I checked again, it was 146, and then when I checked again, it was at 200. And then I watched one of your recent videos, and you were like, "Thank you guys so much for like 190," and you were almost at 250, and I was like, "My lord, he can't even keep up with it. He's blowing up so quick."
you know what? I do appreciate that. Thank you. But I mean, I do. I think the passion comes across. I do. That's all I can think of really, because I don't think I explain things as well as I want to. So I think it's the passion that comes across. How much I feel about this plant. Maybe that comes across. I don't know, but a lot of people have. It's all been love from the comments anyway. I haven't had any bad comments, which I'm dreading.
Yeah, those everybody loves you until somebody decides to be mean because they had an off day. But I mean, your top
Yeah.
3 videos are almost all above 2,000 views. Stop buying weed slash cannabis just for THC, medical and
Yeah.
recreational cannabis. Is there a difference? And then, of course, your
Mm.
entourage effect, which leads me into my next question on maybe going a
Oh, look
little
at that.
bit deeper back into that.
Yeah, yeah.
Get a little behind the scenes, get a
But
little bit of
the
deeper
entourage
knowledge.
effect. Yeah. Well, the entourage effect is a big thing. I mean, in America, you guys have a lot of vape pens, don't you? And
Yes,
it's
those are
usually
very prevalent.
distillate stuff.
Yeah,
Brittany
Yeah.
they're usually
And
like
it's
99%. Yeah,
usually
nice one, Dragon. Nice one.
distillate
I heard
stuff.
you. But yeah, they're mostly like 99%, 98% distillates.
Yeah. And I mean, that means so that's THC, just purely THC they've got in there. And then they're mixing it with non cannabis terpenes. So for instance, you're just getting one part of the plant. So when you take, for instance, that THC and you give it, and you, how would I say this? You just lower the content of the THC and add all the other cannabinoids in it. So if you were smoking a rosin pen, I don't know, do you know what a rosin pen is?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
They're
So if you're
wax pens
smoking a
here,
rosin
but
pen,
yeah.
yeah, that's it. So I mean, that's basically the plant has been squished and gets put into a pen. There's no distillation, and I think it's got all of the cannabinoids that plant wanted to express. So that rosin pen against the distillate THC mixed with grape flavor, the rosin pen's going to be so much more effective in a sense where you'll get higher if you want that for recreationally. You will feel it medicinally a lot better because when you work with a terp content, so say you're mixing the THC with just this random grape terpene, they're not going to work together properly because that wasn't derived from that plant. Do you see what I'm saying? So the entourage effect all comes together when every single cannabinoid in the plant comes together and works as one.
So kind of like
Does that
how
make
we
sense?
have dabs. Like dabs are just basically the
Mm.
rolled out oil from nugs. And it's just that really
Mm-hmm.
concentrated
Mm.
wax. Now a
It'd,
dab is
it'd be
something
high in CBD.
else. I don't know if
Yeah,
you've
exactly. And there's a reason behind that.
just
Yeah,
they're
I've had dabs
super
many
strong.
times.
Dabs, whew,
Yeah.
dabs are something. If anybody in our audience has taken a dab, you guys understand. For anybody who's just like smoke, you're just like, I don't see what's so big. It's wax. Like you're hitting it like a bomb. No dabs, dabs. Oh, dabs will wake you up.
That's some powerful stuff there.
That is some real powerful stuff.
There's a reason behind that because all the cannabinoids have been concentrated. If you took a dab of just THC oil, of course you'd feel something. But you take the same dab of that whatever wax that you've got, that concentrate, you will feel so much more from that.
And you definitely feel more. That's for sure. Well, I mean,
yeah, and that's the entourage effect in a nutshell.
That the more just the concentrated of the terpenes, but my entire you see how my brain doesn't fire. See, if I did this show on my own, I'd be screwed. This is why I have people. Like the first episode we ever did, Dragon whipped out the word bubbly. She's so bubbly. I was so unprepared. He helped bridges all the thoughts that I can't, fully express.
Yeah.
I don't know why you bring that up every podcast. It's just a word.
Because you outdo me, but at the same time, without you, I would be done for. My brain can't connect words together so often, it's a struggle. The amount of times I find myself stuttering or like smashing words together, and it sounds ridiculous.
Oh yeah, same as me.
Well, do you think there should be more global pushes for legalization of cannabis, like worldwide, getting it cross legal, in at least a medical sense?
I mean, yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, basically, everyone follows the US when it comes to things like this. Anyway, it seems to be like that. And didn't Biden just sign the bill not long ago? About rescheduling the research, I think, on cannabis, or something along them lines. And
yeah, I think he did something about giving like a grant or something like that for research. I can't really remember. To be honest, I don't like to keep up with politics these days. They just make me
sad. Yeah, no, I mean, like I say, we follow you. I mean, you've done medical first, then we done it. I mean, to be honest, I think Germany's going to be doing recreationally, like federally. I think they're going to do it before you guys. To be honest, I think they're hitting the ground running there.
We should all just follow
I do believe
Holland. Just the Netherlands. Let's just follow the Netherlands. They've got real nice legalization rules.
Yeah, that's a 35-minute flight from my house. No, that's beautiful, Holland. I've been there.
God, what I would give to go.
They have a good medical system. Have you never been?
No, what I would give to go. I've been so many places in Europe, but I've never been to like Holland or even the Netherlands. I've been, up and down Italy through France. I actually lived in France for a short time because of a job my mom had. So, lived in France for a short time. I've been to Germany, Switzerland, Spain, Portugal, Italy. I've been all over Europe. I've been Ireland, Wales, Scotland, UK. Like, I got to explore that side. It's just I never got to go to Holland. I want to go.
Oh, yeah. So you just missed it. Because it seems to be like all the countries you've mentioned have all got a medical program. By the sounds of it, I think. I don't think there's much there. So, I mean, we are getting closer to a medical program across the board, but they just need to get rid of it. I mean, look at Thailand. They just went, all right, we're not doing this no more, and that's it. It's legal. That's what we all should do.
Well, I think we definitely need some more medical research to fully, or at least understand a lot more about the plant before we go fully recreationally legal. But I definitely think medically legal first is 100% where we should be by now. And I know the pandemic slowed it down heavily,
Yeah,
so I'm hoping in the next few years it'll pick up.
it actually sped the process up over here for medical because before the pandemic, everyone had to do a face to face with their doctor, their consultant, and once the pandemic hit, they somehow got the laws like somewhere in the law they found out that they can actually do video calls to do it. So now everyone just have to do a video call. So that sort of sped up our medical system a little bit for medical cannabis. It's quite ironic, don't you think?
Maybe I should go move to the UK. America's being so America's being a little hoe sometimes.
But yeah, it did. It sped up the process. So, but yeah, I
So,
forgot the
Ed,
other part of the question you had. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Ed.
so is it just medicinally legal in the UK?
Yeah, just medicinally. Some police. But in general, for instance, if you're caught growing it, you can get in trouble. If you're obviously caught selling it, you're bang in trouble. But yeah, for recreational use, it's just illegal. There's nothing you can do. So that's why a lot of people have moved over to the medical because I mean, I don't do this. I get 40 grams for the month. That does me 10 grams a week. But a lot of people are just getting 10-gram pots and going to get recreational and just putting it in the pot for the security.
Hmm.
Actually,
So,
as much as I probably shouldn't say
Uh,
that, good for them, that's pretty smart.
that's
Like, as much as I
yeah.
probably shouldn't
I
say
mean,
that,
there's
good
a
for
lot of
them,
people.
that's pretty smart. Like, I gotta hand it to them there.
I mean, I personally know someone who does that. I'm not going to mention who it is, but I mean, I've stated on all my YouTube channels that I get enough. I get 40 grams for the month. My doctor knows that's enough for me, so I don't need to go to the rec market anymore. But a lot of people are doing that. So I mean, surely though, the more people that get onto the medicinal market in the UK, this thing about it creates psychosis. There's not a person that's got psychosis from the medical side yet. So surely the more people get into it, they can sort of squash that psychosis. You see what I'm saying?
They group it all together because I feel like they don't understand. They're looking at it, of course, at least I could say this for America, everybody looks at it with a business
Mm.
standpoint. The business heads of America look at it and they don't see that they can make money off of it, even though they can make a lot of money off of it. They just don't understand how to make that money, so they don't want it legalized.
Yeah, yeah. It's so, but that's if they don't sort that out, the black market is always going to thrive. I mean, even in California, because of the taxes, the black market's thriving, isn't it? It's they don't know how to work it out yet.
Yeah, a lot of people still buy from their street dealers, even though it's legal in their state, just because they've either been buying from them for so long and they trust the weed, or their prices are just way better.
And it usually boils down to money at the minute, doesn't it? Everyone's struggling for a bit of an extra coin in their pocket. So I mean, that's what it mainly boils down to.
Everybody really is just trying to get some money.
I mean, they need to. It's regulation and education. That is the slogan, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, on the recreational side, I've got no problem with people smoking it recreationally. Not a problem at all.
Because I mean, I understand why. It does have very good medical, as well as, let me smoke because I want to get high. Okay, fine, you can have your recreational, but at least have my medical. Like at least help
Yeah.
me medically for back pain or something along those lines. And the amount of things
Well,
that
that's it.
this could
I mean,
probably, I mean, help and prolong people is insane. But we just don't have enough research for anybody to care or look at it.
yeah. No, I agree. I agree. It's like I say, the recreational market. I mean, I believe as well, if someone's smoking it recreationally, there's a hidden problem. For instance, if they're smoking it for or consuming oil, however they want to do it, vaping it, whatever. If they're doing it for after a hard day's work to relax, well, that's a therapeutic effect, isn't it? They're using it for a therapeutic effect. If you're using it at the end of the night because you're stressed after a long day of work, or some mums, single mums, for instance, or single dads, put the kids to bed and they want to go and have a vape. I'm allowed to vape because it's legal for me. I can put my kids to bed and go and vape. So I don't. I think it's all therapeutic. I mean, I think some people do abuse. There's always abuse. There's always going to be abuse, even in the pharmaceutical industry. But I think 90% of people are using it for some therapeutic effect.
I agree. I mean, there's always abusers, even with stuff that's legal now. There's always abusers to drugs. That's just how
Of
life
course.
is. And that kind of makes me want to ask the question is, do you think that cannabis is addictive, whether it's chemical or mental?
Yeah, I mean, there's two sides to that coin. For instance, you could say that I was addicted to it because I have to consume it every day. But then I find that it's a dependency on having pain relief. So if I don't consume my cannabis, I'm in pain. So I have to consume it every day. Now, any from an outsider, they'd think that was addictive. I was addicted to it, But then they're on the other side of some people that are just eating a packet of gummies every night to get out of their box because they're with their friends. Maybe they can have an addictive personality and create some sort of addiction. But I do believe that it's a dependency for people with medicinal benefits, who's getting it for medicinal benefits. I think it's a dependency on having the pain relief. So yes, it can be addictive, but that means that's one thing as well. If you regulate it, these young children can't get it from a young age and can't get addicted to it. So I do think you can get
So
addicted to it.
you're saying that it's not the high that that's addicting, it's the pain relief. It isn't
Yeah,
like
that's the
necessarily
that's the
addicting, but the pain relief is what you want, not the I'm
that's the
high.
exactly that. I mean, I need to be able to function with my family. I've got a disabled wife. I'll just name a couple of. She's got lupus, Crohn's, and arthritis. That's just a couple of her problems. And I've got two children, two dogs, and a cat. Now I need to be able to function on a daily basis to be able to look after my family. Now, when I was on cocodamols and diazepams and naproxen, my eyes used to roll in the back of my head. Like I couldn't function on all these tablets. And as soon as I consume cannabis, it does exactly what them tablets do, but I can function. So that's the addictive part, being able to function properly.
So it's the addiction to being able to function properly and having that pain relief and feeling that you can, you're not just kind of like how Percocet or a hydrocodone will just lay you out, or a Xanax will just lay you out,
Mm-hmm.
but you have that same pain relief, except you're still able to do something.
Exactly.
So you're addicted to the freedom that it gives you.
More because not only yeah
And
and
your mic's
and
breaking up a little bit.
and, and also my mind, the freedom it gives me of my mind. creative. I can do more things. I don't find looking after my dog. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me? Hello? Sorry. Can you hear me? Hello?
Wow, that was really lagged behind. That's crazy. I said that like a solid 5 seconds ago.
Still here?
Looks like we're getting some technical difficulties out here.
Can you still hear me?
Kind of. A little bit. Wow. Dragon.
Yep.
Yours is fine, right? It isn't like me tripping, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
Is it me?
Yeah, I think your connection's a little iffy. Maybe leave the call and join back and see if that'll if that fixes it.
Hello?
Oh. You know,
first time we had technical difficulties on the podcast, I guess.
No, I've had we had technical difficulties with James with Newt's podcast. It's just it was fine, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. That was a bit weird.
Right, because he's across seas, you know.
Yeah, he happens to be pretty far away. There's the head too. Well, I mean, we can take a little mid-break. How are we feeling about Mr. Ed?
How are we feeling about Ed?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's very interesting, a lot of this, and it was mostly the reason I would have come on, because he was so interesting. And
Yeah,
he doesn't fit, he doesn't fit our normal thing. He's super interesting.
Oh, he's back.
Oh.
Oh.
Are we working?
Can you hear me?
I think so. We might be working.
Mic check. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, there it goes.
There we go. I can hear you, Ed.
I do apologize.
Oh,
It's
no
fine.
worries.
Trust me, you're not the first one to have technical difficulties. Usually I can just blame it on James. But unfortunately,
I hope you guys can remember my train of thought.
We were somewhere about cannabis. That's what I remember. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
that's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we were definitely talking about cannabis in some form.
Oh, that was it. I remember.
Oh,
yeah,
you remember.
I was basically saying it doesn't only help my back pain, it helps me mentally as well.
That's right. We were talking about. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm back in the conversation. I remember too.
See, who says cannabis gives you a bad memory, eh? Yeah. So I was saying, yeah, it helps. It helps me get up in the morning as well. By just knowing that I've got pain relief straight away. I can get up, have my pain relief, and I'm physically okay and mentally ready to go for the day.
And that assurance is, you want other people to be able to share that assurance.
Because there's a lot of other people that are in my situation. So I started caring for my wife when I was 30. And it's quite a change to what you think life is going to be when you say them vows, sickness and health. So I find there are other people out there in the same situation. There's got to be, and I just want them to know that they're not alone. If you find my channel, I'm always here. Leave a comment, and I'll chat to you. I will always chat. I'll try and comment straight. Try and comment straight away. So I'm just trying to build a community for people to just be safe and ask questions if you've got any.
Which is all we're trying to do here. Even though this wasn't a very gaming specific episode, it's still at the end of the day is we're promoting mental health and mental health awareness, showing that you're not
Right.
alone. There is help,
Hmm.
and and it's not always as dark as it seems.
I 100% agree. That's one reason why, because being a carer is quite lonely, to be honest with you. I drop my kids off in the morning, and I look after my wife. I make sure she's got her breakfast done. I can't leave my house because she's got issues, so I don't really go out socially. So there are other people in the same situation, and just to let you know, I'm here. You're not alone.
And this is also a time in the year where seasonal depression is very big and is a very big problem. You know, the colder weather, the gloomier days, the darker days, getting darker earlier, it's putting a lot of people into that depressive mood, or, you know, it's hitting
Yeah,
their seasonal depression. So if you are going through it, just know that
yeah,
you are not alone. There are people to help and talk. Ed will, I will, Dragon will, James
yeah.
will, and communities that you're a part of. Start the conversation.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I try to say at the end of every video. Well, I do say at the end of every video that I love you. Doesn't matter who's watching the video. I love you for just for being you, and I try and put that across.
Yeah, that you're welcome here. You know, you're not an outcast, no matter who you are, what you are, who you identify as, or anything like that. You're welcome here. We love you. We're
Yeah,
glad you're a part of this community.
that's it. And share your thoughts, like you know. I mean, we all like I say, if you anyone contacts me, I try and contact straight away, and I presume you guys do as well, because you know there's people out there that are feeling a bit low, and I try and make people laugh. I do try and make people laugh.
You definitely make people laugh. I mean, you made me laugh when I first found you.
Cheers. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's that
just to
cannabis
mention, guys.
cough right there.
Yeah, no, just to mention, I tested positive for the Big C the other day.
Oh
It's 2 days.
no.
Feeling all right. Yeah, I'm feeling all right, but I've got a little bit of a chesty cough. My daughter caught it first, then I caught it, then my other daughter, and then my wife. So, but we're all okay.
That's good that you're all okay. That's very important.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotta take care of the ones you love.
It's all right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I have got a smoker's cough though.
It's just a little one though. Well, Ed, we don't want to take up too much more of your time. We know you're a busy man. Wife, kids, dogs,
Yeah,
cats. You know you're a busy man. Thank you for talking to
yeah.
us. Thank you so much. And I hope
Oh,
you
yes.
have a great rest of your day, Ed. Or
I'm
night,
sorry about
I
the technical
guess.
difficulties.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Oh, thank you, and I hope you have. Yeah, yeah. It's yeah. Over here. I'll be doing my routine in a minute. But if you want me back on to have a chat, you're more to give me a share. It was very nice. Thank you very much.
All right, Ed. Thank you. See you, bud. Whew,
Thank
Dragon.
you very much. All right. Take care.
Take care. Oh, Dragon, that was something. Towards that end, that technical difficulties was killing us. That lag. Ooh, that was a struggle.
Yeah, but honestly, great all around guy. He's living his life to the fullest, and it's something great to hear. It gives you motivation in life to reach the goal yourself. Honestly,
Exactly. And even just like hearing it, it sounds like everything's so grim, but he's so cheery and happy and trying to make people laugh and, everything like that. You watch him in his videos and you could never tell. He's a great
exactly.
guy. And that's why when I first saw him, I was like, it doesn't fit, but I want to have him on. And I was like, fuck it. Special edition we go.
Well, if you think about it, it does fit. We're trying to build a community that promotes mental health, promotes living a good life, and I think Ed is the embodiment of that for our podcast.
I definitely agree. Ed was amazing, and he was very strongly opinionated as well, and he stood by it, and he's passionate about what he talks about.
Yeah, and I bet if someone came to him strongly disagreeing with his views, he would still sit down and have a good chat and, show him his side, but also stick around and listen to their side and, listen to their views and not even force a persuasion, just give him the facts, give him what he needs to say, and then let it be. Let them decide what they want to believe.
And I mean, if you just scroll through his comment section, everybody's just loving him. I love finding videos like this. You got yourself a new subscriber. I hope you're doing well. Congratulations. Stay strong. Keep up the good work. Like, everybody is posting everything and talking, but also he's replying and hearting every single one of these comments. He's saying something
Exactly.
to all of them. He's dedicated to his fan base and dedicated to his community. Is dedicated he is to his own views and his family, and he's just trying to create a safe space for everyone where he can talk because, well, he's passionate.
Exactly. So honestly, even if he does blow up, I feel like he's still going to keep the same mentality of trying to do it for the viewers.
And be there for his community.
Exactly.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this special edition of Gaming But at What Cost. I'm your host, Nighty.
I'm Dragon, of course.
He's still owned by the government.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you enjoyed, hit that like, hit that subscribe. You know, we're like every YouTuber ever in our outro. We've got to make you like and subscribe so we can get the YouTube algo going in our direction. But for real, guys, we love you so much. Thank you for a great season 1. Thank you for all the new faces we met and everybody else. We've got something big planned for our season premiere of season 2. Thank you so much. And bye. Remember, I'm in your walls.